Well, there you are. Again. Charlie Greer podcast. I do this every day. Today. So, strange, mysterious world. Right? Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel. The information's in the description for Zelle. Let's do this. So, strange, mysterious world that we live in. Everything is. I have witnessed, unfortunately, some strange and mysterious stuff. Uh, you know, Stephen Hawking, he said that in 2012, when we collided that God particle, whatever they were doing, it sent us into this parallel universe. So everything kind of looks the same, but it's not, and then there's this Mandela effect. Well, the Mandela effect is like kind of the same thing. Like we're in a different kind of time, space and time, and everything's a little the same, but different. And when I first heard that, I thought, man, that's some bullshit. Because of course you want to see stuff with your own eyes. You don't want to be blindly, I believe it. But as I started looking into the Mandela effect, it's like, wait a minute. Because I'm talking about things in my own. Forget about what Forrest Gump used to say or in Star Wars, or they think that Nelson Mandela died in prison, and all this stuff. Pardon me. Talking about my own life. And the strange thing is, like, it keeps happening. Now, I know I'm getting older. I know I used to drink a lot of beer. Used to be a wild man. But like recently, okay, so I think I've told this story. My car, a peacock. I used to live in like Arcadia, California, and a peacock. I'm talking about the male peacocks with the big, thing. And peacocks are big, and you don't want to mess with a peacock. They're friendly. I mean, they leave you alone, but you just don't want to mess with. So I sit by my door. Screen door is there. I can see through. And a peacock was coming through the driveway, and I'm like, hey, go, because they're so loud and they shit all over the place. And he was walking down the driveway. He looked over and he saw his reflection in my car, and he started attacking. So like, hey, I went out there and I had to. And he left this. It's a small little. It looks like a BB hit it or something. It's deep, but it didn't make a hole, and it was in my driver's side door. Well, I noticed now it's in the front of my passenger side door. Like, huh? How did that? It's like things that for a fact. Like I've looked into how it was. It was on my driver's side door. Now it's moved about a foot or two. Mandela effect, perhaps. I don't know. When I saw that, I literally got dizzy. I was like, "What is it?" Because I know what is there. I've told this story a million times about the peacock seeing his reflection. Now it's moved. Now it's in the passenger door. What? How can that be? See, again, those strange things I've noticed in my life that are like different now. Like, whoa. And John Tudor, whatever, he claimed in the early 2000s, around the late 90s, 2000, he was a time traveler sent back by the military of all places to come and get like an IBM computer from the 70s because they needed in the future to help. It gets confusing. And he would call Art Bell. And the shit he was saying was just like, huh, what? You got to look into that. Google John Tudor, or you'll go to. And he showed pictures of this time, this thing he used for it. Looked, I mean, but the stuff that he said, now he said once he came back in our time, it would change the timeline, and but the stuff that he said is happening. It's just not in the time that he's off a bit. Strange, mysterious world. Could he have been a time traveler? And why would they send him? Maybe they, he said he was trained, like he was military, to go back and get this guy, and he did. All through time, there's been, people claiming to be time travelers. And maybe it's all mixed together. Maybe it is the same. time and space, it's a fabric that can be kind of, that's what Einstein said. Um, could it be? I think that we're going to find out. I think we're about to find out. 1 second. Give me 1 second. There are people who claim they've been reincarnated. There are kids that remember these things. Detailed stuff. What are they talking? How could they? What's going on? There's old videos of or films. Come here. There's old films, like black and white, silent films of people walking through like a big crowd. Like, looks like they're on a cell phone. There's ancient carvings from like the Egyptian times that have like some strange, mysterious stuff on them. There's that dude that it's like he's got a bird head, and then but he's also always wearing a watch and carrying this little thing. It looks like a purse. All through culture, there's these and pyramids all over the world, different, huh? And they claim, oh no, it's just what? How did they build the pyramids? We still can't replicate. Would we want the money involved? Everything's about profit. But I think it was Japan. One of these countries tried to replicate the Great Pyramid, but they did like a 1 to 100 scale model, but they wanted to use the same rock and, figure out because it's in sand. It's out in the, and as they were building it, like they got about almost done, the foundation collapsed. Couldn't carry the weight. Then how is this big pyramid sitting there in the middle of the sand? I know sand can, we don't know. And they're not telling us. That's another thing. They study these things and have been forever. Our U.S. military, our government, intelligence, whatever you want to call it, always claim that they're like 20 years ahead of us with the technology. Could they be? Perhaps. Probably. When I used to do Kriya yoga, and I would do like deep dive in meditation, I was doing that for probably a year. I did the sink dive. I got to the point where I was good at it. I had to do seated meditation because I can't cross my legs like you're supposed to. I witnessed or had some strange stuff happen. I quit doing it. Like, no. When I had typhus and I almost died in 2013, I was in the hospital in the infectious disease ward at Huntington in Pasadena, like a room inside a room. I had what are they, like a resurrect me, you know what I mean? Like I had like 3 near-death experiences, and all of them the trippiest shit the doctors even like, look, when I try to talk to them, they're like, oh, yeah, it happens, when they revive you, like even after I got out of the hospital, my ribs were broke. I was purple from like my neck. All my arms were blue and purple and green, all the way down to my chest because they had broken my sternum and my ribs and bringing me back to life. I said I had cardiac arrests and heart attacks. And you're only going to live 5 years, Charlie Greer. 5 years. The day I was leaving the hospital, like, what? You got 5 years to live? 5 years. This was in 2019. Well, it's been almost 10. And yeah, it fucked me up. Typhus did. I had to learn to walk again, and my eyesight's all messed up, and I got a stomach problem, and this and that and the other thing. You don't think these things happen to you. You think these things happen to other people. Until that happened, I'd never had an IV. I'd never been in an ambulance. I'd never been in the hospital. Besides, just something, I wouldn't, fighting for my life. And when they found me, luckily my neighbor found me one morning and they called the ambulance. And I woke up in the ambulance and felt like I was being stung by bees. And I've told this story, and there was a nurse above me, and she was crying. And she was like, rubbing my head, and they were giving me IVs and all this stuff. Like, just lay back. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I heard the driver of the ambulance, and they're flying. We can't take him to, LA County. We're going to take him to Huntington. Nobody's dying in my ambulance. And I look up this nurse. I'm like, who's dying? And she just said, no, just lay back. And I went, oh my God, it's me. I'm the one that's fucking dying. And I looked at my arm, and they were gray and brutal. And what saved me was my faith. You got to have faith, man. You got to, again, strange, mysterious world. You got to, you better believe, you better have faith. And it was brutal getting out of that year of recovery that I had to go through, and then doctor's appointments and this and that. And I'm talking about, I had to take everything, nitroglycerin, all of it. Horrible. Learning to walk again is brutal. Because you just, at first you do this like baby trot. If you turn your head, you're going to fall, whatever way you look. And I've been, had my feet, my legs look like elephants. It was horrible. And I got typhus was from a flea from a cat. There was stray cats in the neighborhood, feral cats, and I'm an animal lover. I have dogs, or have a dog. My dog died. One of my dog dies last month. But I would sit and try to get the cat to come to me, and it finally did, and I'd pet this old nasty cat. I shouldn't have. Without knowing it, a flea jumped off him, bit me. 7 days later, I'm in the Huntington hospital fighting for my life. And then it turned out, this was in 2013. In 2012, like LA County lost the funding to spray for like typhus and West Nile virus and all this. And when I was in that ward, there was a guy that had West Nile. He died from West Nile virus. And supposedly they tracked it back to the Arcadia Arboretum, where they have all the peacocks and the lake. And that's where they shot like the Creature from the Black Lagoon and Fantasy Island and all that stuff. Again, it's a strange, mysterious world. When you live in a city that's got millions of people, you better be spraying for stuff. And I saw cryptids, and I saw all kinds of weird stuff in LA. UFOs, you name it. You would not think that, like, in the park, well, I used to walk at like 5, 6 in the morning, and they had a wide concrete park, a walkway, probably 10 to 12 feet wide. And one morning, I've told this story, when I was walking, I turned the corner and I saw one, it was a right foot, barefoot, because, the dew on the grass, whatever, in the middle of that. It was huge. I should have took a picture of it, but I was so freaked out. So it looked like something big had literally like walked in this, it took one stride to get past that walkway, which would have took a human probably 6, 8, I don't know. I took off. I quit walking in the morning. And it's a park. There's nowhere to hide. Where would this thing be? And how big would it be? Strange, mysterious world. And I didn't tell anybody, but I know there's cameras in that park. And those people came, they found the park people that work there, and their little like golf carts came up to me like, hey, you see anything weird? I'm like, man, you tell me. No, you tell me. Like, you go first. No, you go. And I told them about that footprint, and they kind of went like that, and then they never talked to me again. Yeah, you saw something too. Now I'm the now I'm the fool that, and it's not just me. People are seeing all kinds of stuff lately with all the cameras and the phones and this, that, and the other. People, hunters they're Bigfoots and dogmen and whatever these things are. There's a story about the red-headed giant of like Kandahar or something. They were like in Afghanistan, and they were military, like Marines, like, serious people. And one of the, units or troops, whatever it's called, disappeared. So they sent another elite unit to go find it, and they stumbled upon this carnage of body parts and busted equipment, and then here comes this red-headed giant with like a spear, and it took him like a, and he killed one guy, and they shot it, you know, I had to shoot him in the head like 1,000 times to bring this thing down. Look into that. There's people. There's interviews with. Again, it could all be. I don't know. It's a strange, mysterious world, and people do want to weave a yarn. You know, they want to tell crazy stuff. When we were a kid, my grandmother used to tell us about all this stuff and read stories about the Bell Witch, and we went hunting the Bell Witch, of course. And at the end of the day, we saw something that looked like it could have been. But then everybody knew we were out down by the creek. It could have been someone's sister or whatever, dressed in black. I don't know. But we saw some scary woman. We couldn't see. We just saw it was lit from behind, so we didn't see her face. But we took off. I used to run the creeks and the woods and all this stuff, and every so often you would get like this. The sound would you couldn't hear anything. It would just stop, and you felt kind of disoriented, looking around. Everything looked weird, and the colors were even looking weird. And I always would dart. I got my senses back, just take off. I don't know what it was. I'd ask my grandma, what? Be careful on those woods, Charles David. You know, huh? Of course, they'd let me keep going. Times are different then. But all through time, people have, you know, there's stories of the Chimera, which were, you know, now in our terms would be like some kind of DNA, you know, half man, half whore, who knows? And then there's ancient, they talk about this stuff. They talk about like the Nephilim, the fallen ones that created the Chimera. And it's just, huh? What? Could be. I don't know. Certain things. I mean, I know people, again, people, they want to be, oh, mysterious. They want to know that. So is it human nature? Is that what it is? We just want to, you know, tell a tale. You know, people see ghosts. I've seen ghosts. I saw a ghost of me one time. Pardon me. Matter of fact, I walked through this image of myself from the night before. And when I walked it, because I turned the corner, go in my bathroom, and my girlfriend at the time was staying with me, and I even felt kind of tingly when I walked through this image of myself. And I was in a doorway like this because the night before I'd gotten sick. I even recognized the shirt. I used to have this Doors shirt that I would sleep in, you know, the band The Doors. And then when I walked through it, I got in the, it was dark in the bathroom. I was scared to turn the light on and scared to look behind me. Like, what the hell did I just see or feel? I saw me from last night. And I turn around, there's nothing there. You know, Huxley talked about the doors of perception. It's just perception. Certain people are going to see some certain things. And then you add in the time and space is you know, can be bent like a fabric, huh? Could be. Very well could be. You never know. Comment below. What have you seen? What have you experienced? Now, supposedly they have like Project Bluebeam where they can like project things that look real. I've seen night crawlers. I've seen aliens. I've seen like just about, you know, I saw a dog man in Arcadia. There was a bunch of people around. I wasn't the only one that saw this thing. I've told this story. My dogs reacted first, and I look up, and there's this bulging furry mass. It was big. It was behind a car, as big and taller than the car. Like, just, you know, it was fur and bulging. I looked down at my dogs again because they wanted to take off. I look up, and here's this big. It was a female too, dog man. Her head was bigger than her shoulder. It looks fake, with this grin. It was bobbing, and other people were like, "What the? Huh?" One woman was filming it. I tried to talk to her, but she spoke Mandarin. Um, Headed home straight through. I was cutting through like backyard because my dogs were pulling me. They, like, get out of here. Oh, as I was looking at it, it was gone. It was just, and there was people around, a lot of people, and some people were reacting to it, some people weren't. Again, Huxley said doors of perception, because some people see the perception. Can they see these things? And then they, I don't know, on a totem pole, the Native Americans, that top is a Sasquatch. They believe this, man. And then I watched an interview with this old medicine man, and he said there's three kinds of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. One of them can put this mind flu on you, so you just don't remember you saw it. The other, he said, another one, it's got an invisibility cloak, but it's got to be in a certain angle, so it's got to walk this certain angle. And if you do, you'll see a glimpse of it. Is that why we just see these glimpses? That's what he said. And I forgot about the third one. The third one can levitate, like you won't hear it walk. It'll hover above the lead, and they're quick and fast and strong, and this is ancient knowledge. People are always seeing these cryptids. I used to see these weird naked things in the woods with my, what do they call them? Anyway, comment below. What have you seen? What have you experienced? Have you had any effects of the Mandela effect? I mean, again, I know for a fact where that peacock attacked my car and made that little dent. Now it's moved. What? It's just strange, mysterious. Have people time travel? What was up with John Teeter? Go down that rabbit hole. It's crazy. And the strange thing, he said he needed that IBM computer because it would, something about the computer. I'm sorry, but that computer could hook up with other computers and do some kind of, anyway. Turns out nobody knew that until after they finally go like, yeah, we put that technology in there. We didn't tell the public, so we didn't know to know it. So the military could just grab any one of those and use it. And then I guess when he came out with that information, nobody knew it. Well, how would he know? He's calling Art Bell. Can you imagine? Yeah, Art. Yeah, John Teeter here. Time travel. Right. And the stuff that he said it's come true. It's just a different timeline. He's off of it. Strange thing he said about entertainment. He said that there won't be more popular TV show. It'll be people entertaining people from their home with their computers, which is kind of what YouTube is. This is before YouTube. He said this around like 2000, 2001, 2002. Isn't that what's happening? I don't watch TV anymore. I have a TV sitting right beside me here. Bought it from a neighbor and never even plugged it in. Went and got like an antenna and all this stuff. I don't like watching TV. I do everything on my laptop. I watch movies. I get watching YouTube. I'm this and that and the other. How did he know? I mean, again, people can. Again, strange, mysterious world. Comment below. Do you think that maybe, perhaps, you never know. We shall see, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to make this one short today. I got to head to work. But I love y'all. Again, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the information is in the description for Zelle. And quite honestly, I don't even know how that works. Somehow it's connected to my bank, and that's it. I don't know. And quite honestly, nobody's ever give me a nickel. But you never know. And I'll be back tomorrow. I do this every day. I write like a madman. I know, right? So I'll be back tomorrow. I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.